Uganda's army has made a rare apology after soldiers were caught on film beating up a journalist who was covering a demonstration supporting detained Member of Parliament Bobi Wine on Monday. Other journalists were also beaten as they were reporting on the protest. An army statement described the soldiers' conduct as quote-unquote unprofessional and said they will be arrested. There has been political tension in Uganda after Wine, that is Bobi Wine, and 4 opposition members of Parliament were arrested last week. Bobi Wine, who was a well-known musician before being elected an independent MP last year, is leading possibly the first major popular movement against President Yoweri Museveni by young people. On Monday, 1 person was killed and more than 100 others arrested. Last week, 2 journalists were arrested as they reported live from the northern town of Arua, where Bobi Wine's driver was killed during a bitterly contested by-election, which was won by one of the MPs, that is Kassiano Wadri. UPDF, they are making a very rare apology, I must say. Now, a group of civil societies from Kenya have lined up a series of demonstrations to push for the release of Ugandan politicians being detained for allegedly committing treason. Led by Vice Chairperson of the Law Society of Kenya, Harriet Chigai, and other lawyers, the group has particularly pleaded with other regional governments to exert pressure on Ugandan President, that is Yoweri Museveni, to release all political detainees, including Bobi Wine, who is currently being held at a military camp. The civil societies are set to hold demonstrations in Nairobi on Thursday with a view to submitting a petition to Uganda's High Commission in Kenya. We have our reporter Miti Shadrack, who has been following that report for us, and he is now joining us, I believe, from our CBD studios. Meti Shadrack, good afternoon, and perhaps what is the latest that you have for us with regards to this planned demonstration?
Well, good afternoon, Yusuf, and what is going on is that in the past few days, the world has not been given more information as to the whereabouts of politicians that are being held in Ugandan cells. And remember, the worst of this is the information that the musician turned politician Bobi Wine, otherwise known as Robert Chagulanyi, is being held at a military camp. And if anything, yesterday I think there was a video that was going around on social media showing how he had been battered and he cannot do anything. And so in today's press conference done by several civil societies from Kenya, led by the Law Society of Kenya, the lawyers associated with those civil societies are now demanding that the government of Uganda comes out clean to give information as to the whereabouts of Robert Chagulanyi and other detainees that have been held in a few days following protests that were witnessed in Arua area. And so for them, they are saying, yes, there is information that those people that were arrested and that ended up in a few killings, and so far we are talking of about 100 people that are being held by Ugandan police. But now for them, they are really focusing on the situation with the situation in which those people being arrested and detained are. And so for them, they're just saying, whereas tomorrow they will be protesting, they are also planning to go a step further to begin a legal process that will culminate in forcing Ugandan government to release the people that are being detained. And again, if the Ugandan government will not agree with them, then they are saying they have options of involving the East African Law Society, and thereafter they will escalate the matter to another higher body so that they make sure that there's enough truth at least just to explain to the world what is going on and why is the government of Uganda seeming so hard on these detainees that are said to have committed treason on claims that they attacked President Museveni's motorcade. Back to you, Yusuf.
Many thanks. Meti, one final question before I release you. I understand that the members of the civil society are going to submit a petition to Uganda's High Commission in Kenya tomorrow. Are they talking about the need for regional bodies like the East African Community to come in, or perhaps even the African Union, because all these individuals have remained mum on this matter?
Yusuf, in fact, in their statement, they were very specific on that. They said what is really deafening is the silence that is being witnessed across the region, because ever since that those violence erupted and subsequently people were arrested and even members of parliament were seen being beaten and attacked, and so far the reports are that they are being detained in not so good conditions. They are asking, why has it not been so, why has the world not witnessed local regional leaders speaking about the situation, and why have not the regional leaders exerting pressure to the to Ugandan securities to give more information about this? And for them, they are saying they are really waiting to hear statements coming from the East African community, the African Union, and other bodies that are as concerned, so that before even they consider going to push ahead with the legal process that they are threatening to do, they are saying they are giving these regional bodies a chance to speak out on this matter and to see whether indeed the president of Uganda and the government in general will be listening to them and issue a clear statement and just give an update on the situation of those people being detained. And then if that is not forthcoming, they will now be moving to other bodies, other international bodies, with a view to ensuring that truth and justice is served to those people that are being detained by Ugandan forces. Back to you, Yusuf.
We all hope that justice is going to be served. Many thanks, Miti Shadrach, for that comprehensive update ahead of that planned demonstration or protest by members of the civil society right here in Nairobi. And once again in studio, I have Mr. Ami Amanya Cohen, who is a lawyer and of course doubles up as a Ugandan national. He's going to talk us through about the human rights record of Uganda at a time when Bobi Wine is still behind bars. And that is why earlier, this is what we did ask you on our Twitter poll. If you think it's time that East Africa